The Midwest looks peaceful from afar, rolling acres of corn. Farms that haven't changed in generations. Roads so straight they seem to cut the earth in half. But the land out here has a long memory. And some places remember the wrong things. One stretch of road, Route 41, is known for a story that sits heavy on the town that borders it. A story wrapped in fog, whispers, and warnings carved into the side of a map. It began with a missed call. Lila Anders, 22 years old, nursing student, dependable, quiet, clocked out of her hospital shift at 11:52 p.m. She messaged her roommate one last time, leaving work now. Exhausted lol. The drive home was only 25 minutes. She never arrived. When her roommate found her room empty the next morning, she thought Lila overslept. By noon, she was calling hospitals. By evening, she was calling police. 2 days later, her car was spotted from the air. The sheriff's team found her car just past mile marker 119 on Route 41, driver's door cracked open. Phone on the seat, key still dangling in the ignition. Nothing appeared broken. Nothing was stolen. Yet everything felt wrong. On the floor was a torn piece of map paper. Written in black ink, shaky and uneven, "Don't look in the field." Who wrote it? Why? And what did Lila see? Officers combed the nearby field, owned by the long-standing Burroughs family. Despite heavy dew, there were no footprints. No broken stalks. No sign of a struggle. Except for one impossible shape, a 20-foot wide circle of flattened grass. Perfectly pressed down, spiraling inward like something heavy had stood there. The sheriff described it as, not natural. Not machinery. Not weather. Something made this intentionally. They took samples. The grass tested normal. The soil tested normal. But animals refused to enter the circle. Detectives pulled case files from the last 15 years. 5 disappearances. 3 deaths ruled undetermined. 1 suspected suicide that didn't quite add up. All within 14 miles of the same stretch of Route 41. Victims' cars all shared 3 traits: driver's side door open, hazard lights flashing, items left undisturbed. One detective privately wrote, "Feel staged. Like someone wants us to look." But when investigators looked deeper, they didn't like what they found. Traveling salesman Mark Denning vanished after sending a text to his daughter, pulled over. Thought I saw someone in the field. His phone pinged once at mile marker 122. Then nothing. His dashcam was recovered but corrupted, except for 4 seconds of flickering footage showing what looked like a tall shape leaning into the edge of the corn. Investigators said it was artifacting. Locals didn't believe them. Retired Navy Corpsman Harold Doc Willis was last seen fueling up at a station off Route 41. The clerk said he looked uneasy. Like he didn't want to get back on the road. At 3:12 a.m., a caller reported seeing a man stumbling along the roadside, waving for help, but when police arrived, there was only his truck, headlights on, engine running. His medical bag sat on the passenger seat. Inside was a voice recorder he used for patient notes. The last recording? Doc whispering, "It's in the field again. It knows I see it. I can hear it breathing." The recording ends with what sounds like a heavy exhale. Some argued it was wind. Others weren't so sure. At the diner in Clear Bend, the only place open past midnight, older residents talk about the watching field. Stories passed down through families, a shadow that stands taller than a scarecrow. Lights drifting above corn rows like wandering lanterns. Voices that imitate loved ones perfectly, calling drivers by name. Some dismiss it as folklore. Others refuse to drive Route 41 entirely. One waitress said, "My granddad told me, don't stop on that road at night. Don't stare too long into the fields. And if something waves at you, don't wave back." Harold Finch, the retired mechanic, finally sat down for an official interview. He said he saw Lila's car the night she disappeared. He slowed down to check on her. Then he saw it. A figure standing deep in the field. Too tall. Too still. Too straight. He said, it wasn't hiding. It was waiting. When detectives asked him to describe the face, he refused. I'm not talking about that, he whispered. Harold moved away 2 weeks later. His house remains empty. At 4:13 a.m., a cardboard box appeared outside the sheriff's office. Inside, a piece of denim, matching Lila's jacket, a rusted metal chain, coated in dirt, a Polaroid photo of the flattened field circle, and at the center of the Polaroid, a faint human-shaped silhouette. On the back, written in smeared ink, you should have looked in the field. Fingerprint tests found nothing. DNA was inconclusive. The photo paper was discontinued in 1998. Meaning whoever took the photo held on to that film for almost 20 years. Land archives reveal Burroughs Farm was built over a network of old storm tunnels, some collapsing, some stretching half a mile underground. Few people knew they existed. Fewer had ever been inside. An inspection drone was sent in. It made it 400 feet before its signal abruptly cut. The last frame showed what looked like a footprint. A single bare footprint. Large. Deep. Facing upward, as if whoever left it had been standing directly beneath the field. 6 days after the box appeared, a woman living near the Burroughs property called in a whisper, "There's something in the field. It's watching my house." Deputies arrived within 10 minutes. The back gate was open. The grass was pressed down. And the woman was gone. Her phone lay on the porch. Still recording. The final 19 seconds are a shaky audio clip of wind. Then a sharp, low exhale. And a dragging sound moving into the grass. Without warning, the Burroughs family packed their belongings and left town overnight. No forwarding address. No explanation. Their land was sold to a shell corporation. The farmhouse bulldozed. The field plowed into flat earth. As if erasing a crime scene. Or burying something deeper. Locals swear that after the demolition, the ground never settled right. The corn grew stunted. The soil stayed soft in the shape of a perfect circle. Recent dashcam footage sent anonymously to the sheriff's office shows a shadow pacing the tree line, lights drifting over the field, something tall, too tall, crossing the road at 2:41 a.m. A voice saying a driver's name from somewhere inside their backseat, and in one clip, a long arm reaching from behind a corn row. None of the drivers stopped. All refused to give interviews. Drive Route 41 at night and you'll notice something. The wind always blows toward the road, never back into the field. Animals avoid the area. Phones lose signal. Headlights dim for a beat. And if you roll your window down, some claim they hear breathing. Lila was never found. Neither were the others. Maybe they were taken. Maybe they walked into the field willingly. Maybe something called them. Whatever happened, one thing stays constant: the land remembers. The land watches. And the land waits. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the haunting stretches of Route 41. Locals whispered among themselves, every glance at the field filled with trepidation. In their minds, the air was thick with dread, a palpable tension that crept into even the bravest of hearts. An outsider, curious about the legends, decided to take a late-night drive. As the headlights pierced the darkness, something flickered at the edge of his vision, a presence, tall and imposing. He gripped the wheel tight, feeling the need for speed surge within him. The thought of stopping was unbearable, yet something deep within compelled him to look back. The dark silhouette grew clearer as he hesitated, revealing a figure that seemed to blend seamlessly with the night. The hard lines of its form sent a chill racing down his spine, urging him to look away, yet an irresistible pull drew his gaze back. With heart pounding, he strained to see more, squinting through the windshield. There, in the flickering illumination of his headlights, he could almost make out its face, an expression that was hauntingly human yet twisted by an unknown malice. The whispers of the townsfolk echoed in his mind, a warning he had dismissed too lightly. As he continued to stare, the figure raised an arm slowly, almost as if beckoning him closer. Fear gripped him tighter than any seatbelt. The whispers in his head escalated into a cacophony, drowning out the hum of the engine, the night air growing thick with the weight of unspoken caution. Each heartbeat thundered, pulsating louder than the last, as he wrestled with the instinct to flee and the compulsion to uncover the truth behind the figure's presence. Suddenly, a rustle in the corn made him jerk his head, breaking the trance. Choking back panic, he tore his gaze away, pressing the gas pedal to the floor, desperate to escape the malevolence that hovered just beyond the field, weaving entrapment through the darkness. The memories of those lost populated his thoughts, their names echoing around him like a warning siren. Would he, too, become another story whispered among the fearful townsfolk, trapped forever in this nightmare? The road stretched endlessly before him, each mile marked with an unbearable sense of urgency. The headlights flickered sporadically, casting eerie shadows that danced across the landscape. With each passing moment, he felt drawn back to that haunting figure, the weight of countless legends wrapping around him like fog. He glanced at the dashboard, noting the time, 2:43 a.m., seconds too late for a safe return. Anxiety bubbled in his throat, yet an inexplicable allure gripped his senses, daring him to turn back once more. A flicker of doubt crossed his mind as he pressed the gas pedal further, the car screaming for escape, but voices from the past whispered persuasively, crawling back into his thoughts, urging him to confront what lay hidden in the depths of the field. He made a decision, one that would spiral into chaos, a choice that could unveil mysteries layered in despair. With a sharp brake and a screech of tires, he turned sharply off the road, rumbling down a dirt path leading into the darkness. The air thickened as he arrived, and for a fleeting moment, he felt the hush of the land settle around him. Silence wrapped tightly, interrupted only by a faint rustling in the field beyond, almost like a call echoing down the night. Swallowing hard, he took a deep breath and stepped out of the safety of his vehicle, heart hammering in his chest. The chilling air stung his skin as he ventured closer to the edge of the field, scanning the horizon where whispers of the past beckoned him into the abyss. In that moment, the moon peeked through the blanket of clouds, illuminating the field in a spectral glow. It was here, on this precipice between safety and the unknown, that he felt the ground pulse beneath him, a slow, rhythmic thrum, like the heartbeat of the land itself. Each step forward drew him deeper into a world that held its breath, the shadows lengthening, intertwining with fear and temptation. As he crossed into the threshold of the field, the air thickened, filled with the scent of damp earth and a sweet undertone of something otherworldly. The whispers surged again, now distinct and pleading, calling to him like sirens on a distant shore. He hesitated, his resolve wavering under the weight of unseen eyes penetrating the darkness. The figure flickered at the edge of his vision once more, lingering just beyond the reach of the moonlight, waiting, watching. He steadied himself, feeling both alive and utterly consumed by the mystery before him. In that chilling moment, he couldn't distinguish if the voice echoing inside him was fear or desire, but he knew he was already entwined in the land's dark lore. The figure stood unwavering, an embodiment of dread that beckoned him closer with a silent invitation. Shadows danced around its form, twisting and warping the reality he once knew. With each tentative step forward, the tales of the lost haunted his mind, each name, each story etched into the very fabric of the night. Had they, too, ventured here, drawn by an insatiable curiosity or a desperate longing for answers? A chill wrinkled the hairs on his neck. He strained to regain composure, desperate to rationalize the impossible. The weight of 1,000 stares pressed upon him, urging him to turn back. But the whispers intensified, weaving patterns of intrigue and terror, entwining in a symphony that captivated his senses. What truth lay embedded within the confines of that endless field? As he approached the unmarked circle, air thickening with ancient secrets, he was filled with a sense of inevitability, a dark realization that destiny had conspired to lead him here. Just beyond the boundary of light, the silhouette shifted slightly, its presence both horrifying and magnetic, capturing the very essence of his fears and fantasies alike. Was it merely a figment of his imagination, or had he finally drawn forth the agony that lay hidden? Breathing in deeply, he felt the pulsation of the earth resonate through him, grounding yet unnerving. Each heartbeat seemed to sync with the thrumming beneath his feet, a pulse that felt alive, sentient, and deeply intertwined with the fabric of his being. With a trembling resolve, he took another step forward, the grass yielding beneath him like a breath held too long. Every fiber of his being screamed for him to turn back, yet the figure seemed to shimmer with a beckoning glow, as if summoning him further into its embrace. The whispers in the air grew louder now, a chorus of voices rising and falling, merging into a single message that echoed inside his mind: "You need to know." As he crossed the threshold of the unmarked circle, an overwhelming sensation enveloped him, as if the air had thickened into a viscous substance, clinging to his skin. Lights flickered above like errant fireflies, dancing just out of reach, taunting him with the promise of secrets long buried. Desperation flared within him, urging him to seek out what lay hidden in the depths of the field, for within this chaos, he felt a perverse sense of clarity, a horrifying invitation to confront the dark truth that had claimed so many souls. The moment he crossed into the circle, the world faded to a dull hum, the familiar sounds of the night swallowed whole by an otherworldly silence. Panic gripped him as he realized he was no longer merely an observer, he had become part of the story, entangled in its ominous threads. The shadows twisted in unnatural ways, and the air grew thick, pressing against him like a vice. Every instinct screamed at him to flee, yet an undeniable compulsion urged him onward, deeper into the darkness. As he treaded carefully, the ground, soft and receptive, seemed to pulse with a life of its own, welcoming his presence even as it warned him of the danger that lay ahead. He stood motionless, breath hitching in his throat, as a cold wind swept through the field, carrying with it a cacophony of whispered warnings. Shadows twirled around him, creating a tapestry of chaos designed to mesmerize and terrify in equal measure. Entranced, he looked toward where the figure loomed, carving an unsettling silhouette against the moonlit backdrop. Curiosity warred with terror within him, a sharp struggle as he felt the air vibrate with anticipation, as if the very ground were holding its breath for what was to come. The whispers swelled into a crescendo, each syllable charged with urgency, urging him to listen, to seek what lay beyond the curtain of night. The figure beckoned now, luminescent against the shroud of darkness, embodying the essence of the lost souls that had ventured before him. In this moment, he understood, he was not merely an observer, but part of a haunting legacy entwined with the land.